So, I'm a huge fan of squats, but normally only in the gym. Recently, we had a follower reach out after seeing a photo of our Airstream in a trailer, and he was embarrassed for us. We had what's known as squatting. What that means is basically you have a little too much weight on your truck and the back end just tends to dip just a little bit. So he recommended a product. It is called RAS Kit, or Roadmaster Active Suspension Kit. Now, as you can see, these basically come fully assembled. So it says on the website and lots of videos, this should be pretty simple to install. Here we go. So the RAS kit is supposed to eliminate sway and squatting on the trucks, especially when your trailer's hooked up. I always felt like our nose was kind of pointing to the sky when we had it all loaded up. So hopefully this will fix that. So I'm gonna hook up the trailer without the RAS installed just to get some preliminary numbers to show how much squatting there is before we get this installed. We have a 22-foot Bambi, total weight of 5,000 pounds with a tongue weight of 500 pounds. And we are pulling it with a 2018 Ford F150. All right, so we have the trailer fully loaded, hooked up onto the truck. Looking at about 5.5 to the edge of the tire. So it's about 5.5 on the back and about 6 and almost a quarter on the front. So let's see what the difference is after we have this installed. Let's hope it's not too hard. I say it's easy. I hope it is. So I don't have a nice heavy duty jack, so I'm going to need to use actually the car jack and these jack stands to get this up, to get the tires off. I hope this goes well. Alright, so we have the truck in the air and a few tips that you need to know. One, you need to be sure that the suspension is fully hanging loose. So you don't want to have your jack underneath the actual axle because that will mess up the install. And the other thing is they have these little feeler gauges to help set the tension once we're in that point. But for now, we're just going to start the install. Basically bolted on. Now we're just adjusting the spring, and they give you little spacers basically to make sure it's set right. I'm actually very surprised at how easy this has gone. The hardest part is just getting the tire off and making sure that your jack stands are set up. Alright, so everything is done, installed. It really wasn't that hard. After watching a YouTube video or two, it's actually a pretty easy install. So we have the HD supports. They have a standard and a high def, or heavy duty, I should say. And we use little discs to measure it. Now let's see what it is. Okay, trailer's fully loaded. Saw the squat, let's measure it. So the final 6 3/4 of the drop. I gotta see what it was before, but if we need to, if we feel like there's not enough support, we can still actually tighten up that spring a little more. It's probably not really easy to get back there now that the tire's on, but that is something we can do. So for now, I'm just gonna try drive with it, see how it feels. They say that it'll do 25% all the way up to 40% additional support. Okay guys, so we have put, I'd say, probably at least 1,000 miles on these struts. And I have to say, I am pretty happy with the install because it doesn't feel like it's bouncing as much. Immediately I noticed that our nose was not pointing to the sky. It's a much smoother ride. Overall, I would recommend, if you have a full-size truck and a single axle trailer, probably even a full axle trailer, the RAS suspension kit is a great little upgrade to add on to the back of the truck. Coco, what do you think?
So I have noticed, hello everyone, I've noticed a much smoother ride. It's not as bumpy, even when we go over bumps, because I felt like before the trailer used to be just like excess weight just bumping around in the back, and it's much smoother overall. It feels like one cohesive unit now, whereas before it felt really separated. But I'm a fan, and I'm also a fan of how easy it was for Scott to install and that we didn't have to go somewhere to get it installed. So that's always a bonus. I'm a little blown out, sorry guys. Yeah, so I'm a fan. Oh, and we're both wearing green. Look.
So guys, this was a little different than our normal video, but we thought we would kind of share some things that we've liked. If you liked what you saw and you want to actually see the RAS suspension kit, the link is below. And as always, I'm Scott.
And I'm Colette.
And we are Romero.
And if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe below.
And just so you guys know, none of this trip is sponsored. And if you want to help us out, please check out our Patreon page. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. We appreciate you. Mwah.
Oh, this is one problem I didn't foresee. So everything is installed, and I am just getting ready to see what the new measurements are on the actual drop. And here's a problem you guys might want to be prepared for if you're using a trailer. Right now, my trailer is fully extended, and the ball is still not high enough. It's just barely going to fit. So, little warning, before you do this, make sure maybe you want to put a little bricks or a piece of wood underneath there just to bring it up a little more, because it turns out the tail end of your truck is going to be higher once you're done.